Howdy folks, I'm not drinking this week just because of health and sanity. I thought I would show you something that we've been toying around with at work a little bit. We're calling it non-alcoholic vermouth, but it's not really like vermouth, but let me just show you. Non-alcoholic drinks at a bar can often be an afterthought. Often they're just a soda, or they're overly sweet, or, God forbid, a Shirley Temple. So we've been trying to come up with non-alcoholic drinks that are more interesting, that are more in line with what you might try and get at a fancy cocktail bar. One of the things you run into if you're trying to recreate a cocktail without alcohol is that the alcohol has a burn to it. It has it carries a lot of flavor, and it's got a mouthfeel. When alcohol hits your tongue, it evaporates and it brings all these flavors out, which is something you're not going to get at all in a non-alcoholic drink. I think the best way to deal with that problem is to not try and make your non-alcoholic cocktail taste like a cocktail, but just to taste like something good. Anyway, we're trying to make a good tasting drink that's balanced, that's not too watery and not too sweet. It can be difficult. So my boss, Cody, had this idea about non-alcoholic vermouth. Hi, Cody. And let me just show you what we're doing. We got this bottle of non-alcoholic wine from New Seasons. Now, I don't know anything about non-alcoholic wine, and to be honest, I don't know a ton about wine, but tasting this on its own, it tastes like not very good wine. I'm not a wine expert, but it wasn't very good. What we did was we boiled down the wine to sort of concentrate the flavors to keep our final drink from being too watery. For this batch, I went down from about 350 milliliters, and I got it down to about 200 milliliters. Reduced wine is still hot. We're gonna steep some tea in it. We found this eucalyptus quince tea, which sounded pretty interesting. Obviously, that's not required. You could use whatever tea that you can find at your grocery store. Maybe hibiscus would be good. Maybe, I don't know, fennel, or another herbal tea, or even a black tea. Try some stuff. See what you can find. I put in 2 bags for 200 milliliters, which should be a nice strong tea. And then I put in about 1/8 of a cup of sugar. I don't want this to be too sweet, so I'm not putting in too much sugar. I figure I can add sugar later to the cocktail if I want more sugar in it. Now, just to pump this up a little bit more, I'm putting in some tartaric acid. Tartaric acid is the acid that comes from grapes and that makes wine acidic. And this hopefully will give it a little bit of punch. So tasting this on its own, it's got a nice sort of tart aroma. I think that's from the quince in the tea. It smells pretty good. It doesn't smell exactly like vermouth, though. It isn't really vermouthy. That's just sort of what we're calling it. I mean, that's not bad. It reminds me of vermouth. Maybe like a blanc vermouth. It isn't as bitter as like a dry vermouth. One thing a person could do, I suppose, is try to extract some wormwood in glycerin or something and add a little bit of a bittering agent to make this more like vermouth. I don't think I'm going to go to that much trouble for this, but it's a food for thought. So what kind of a sort of mocktail can we make with this? Well, one idea is to get some kind of non-alcoholic spirit and mix it with that. I don't happen to have anything like that on hand, but if you have something like that on hand, try some stuff out. Let's see what happens. I'm just going to try this sort of on its own with some bitters in it. I'm going to try and get some of that bitterness from some non-alcoholic bitters. Now, Fee Brothers bitters are all glycerin-based. They're not alcohol-based, so we can use them in our non-alcoholic drinks. If you're at home and you don't mind a little bit of alcohol in your non-alcoholic drink, obviously you could use any bitters you like. But at the bar, we're trying to say if it's non-alcoholic, then there's absolutely no alcohol in it at all. So that's why I'm going with the Fee Brothers. I have these Fee Brothers barrel-aged bitters, and they're sort of a traditional Angostura type of bitters, sort of cinnamony. They're not bad. I'm just going to build this in the glass because I don't want to dilute it too much. I'm putting in about, 3 ounces of my non-alcoholic vermouth, a dash of bitters, came out a little fast, and we're going to garnish it with some mint sprigs. Let's check it out. All right, let's give it a try. I mean, having a nice mint in your face is nice. I think when you're making non-alcoholic drinks, you have to go a little extra hard on the garnish. just to like make it more of a thing, make it more of an experience. You know what I mean? You know, it's not bad. It's tart. Okay, I could actually stand to have a little more sugar in it, which I think is actually good. If you make this not too sweet, then you can sweeten it with other flavors. So you could put in like a mint syrup, or you could put in, I don't know, a cinnamon syrup or falernum, you know, a non-alcoholic infusion of some kind, or even just simple syrup. But you have the option then to, you know, enhance it with other flavors instead of committing to something right up front. I think the bitters came out a little faster than I thought they would. This is a slightly cinnamony flavor from those bitters, but that's not terrible. It's pretty good. It's got a nice mouthfeel, and it does have a little bit of a journey. It's like more tart up front and more of the bitters in the back end. I'm gonna say that's not bad. I think this could actually handle a little bit of soda water too. It's you know, pretty sharp flavor. So, you know, you worry about diluting it too much, but I think this actually could handle a little bit more dilution. Huh. I'm pleased. If you have a friend or a family member or a loved one who is sober, do a little extra effort. Make them something nice. You know, make them something interesting. Get their input. What do they like? You know, you could tweak this to their tastes in terms of what kind of a sweetener to put in it. Yeah. All right. Non-alcoholic drinks. There's potential here. All right. I hope that was fun and or entertaining. Thanks for watching. We will see you next time.